The handmade movement is back in a big way. Crafters all over the world are using their hands and hearts to make a statement, change the world, and build community. In their book, Craft Activism, co-authors Joan Trapper and Gail Zucker highlight people, ideas, and projects from what they call the new community of the homemade. Joan and Gail, thanks so much for joining us.
We're happy to be here.
All right, so how did this all come about?
Well, our publishers asked us to do a book about craft activism, and we said, okay, well, what do you have in mind? They said, well, you tell us. And what we found were people doing all kinds of interesting, wonderful projects in a variety of kind of different media, different subjects, and different ways of trying to make a statement with their art.
All right, you mentioned craft activism. Exactly what do you mean by that?
Well, it's people who are making things for a reason. And in the book, we break it out into several different sort of groups of reasons. There's people who make things in order to recycle. There's people who make things to make a statement. There's people who make things to sort of bring back craft processes that were sort of relegated to being old-fashioned or fussy, and they've made them relevant again. And I've left out a category.
There's people who use their craft for charity,
yes,
to raise awareness of a cause.
Everything's handmade.
Everything's handmade. And of course, in the process, they do this to build community and to connect with crafters who have passions like theirs.
And in the book, you share some of their tips so that the rest of us can learn from them as well.
It's all about doing it yourself. So we try to inspire people by the stories of the crafters. We give patterns and projects that you can make all the way from easy to more advanced, and lots of tips. I mean, things you can do. Here's where you can look for more resources. So the idea is to get everybody crafting.
Well, you guys are co-authors of this book, but you did the photography.
Yes, I did.
So how challenging was that for you?
Well, it was a lot of fun because I got to go behind the scenes with all of the different artists and crafters and where they worked and how they worked and their different personalities, and then it had the component where because we have a project inspired by each of the artists, we also showed the project, and then we showed the project model, so we have a little fashion component going on also.
Well, let's talk about that fashion component, because I'm wearing something.
Yes.
And in fact,
beautiful.
Which was shot for the book here in New Haven. So,
yes, tell me a little bit tell everybody what I'm wearing.
That's the ocelot scarf, and it was designed by Ruth Marshall, who is in our crafting for us to make a statement. And she's this amazing artist who knits the reproductions of specific pelts of endangered species to bring attention to the need for conservation.
And this is the ocelot.
And that's an ocelot. Now, she adapted her artwork, which is really the full pelt of an animal, and she's done research at the Museum of Natural History and at the Peabody Museum here in New Haven, and she adapted it into a single strip of ocelot to make the scarf.
Very good. Now let's take a look at some of the pictures that you have also brought with you to share with everybody else. What is this? This is this is knit bombing?
Do you know about knit bombing? Knit bombing is putting knit or crocheted tags on trees and light posts. And there's a couple of women in Yellow Springs, Ohio, who basically have knit bombed their entire town, including one of these red trees. There's knit bombs on light posts and benches, and they don't do it in the cover of darkness. Very creative.
Let's take a look at the next picture.
These are blankets by Crispina French, and she's in our recycle, renew sort of crafting, and she takes recycled sweaters and, old sweaters, discarded sweaters, and makes these beautiful blankets out of them, and she's up in Pittsfield, Massachusetts.
You also brought some items in. Let's take a look at what you brought here and at the table over there. Let's go through some of them. And these are knit bags?
These are granny square tote bags, and one of the things we found is that people are resuscitating old crafts like granny square crochets, which we all remember from the 70s, and putting them together to cover like a recycled grocery bag, so you can take it to the grocery store and do it with kind of a new sassy style. We did two versions, kind of the colorful one and the really tasteful.
Really quickly, let's go to the table because we have some models we want to show. So what else you have there? Is an apron?
It's an apron with kind of sassy embroidery, hot stuff, just in case.
All right, and the next item next to that?
We have some mittens that were crafted for a charity, to raise money for a charity in Minneapolis.
Very good. Let's bring in our models. Okay, if you can step forward, and this is, who are we seeing here?
This is Stacy Trock, and she's modeling the tongue-in-cheek skirt, which is made out of mall plastic bags. So
yeah, mall plastic bags.
Virginia Flack,
It's
an artist in
amazing.
Texas, works with plastic bags to make beautiful mandalas.
And you said all she did was use transparent tape, is that
Yes.
right?
Taped together.
We have the pattern in the book, so you can make one for yourself.
All you have to do is pick out which mall bags you want to
Yes,
use.
that's right.
absolutely.
And this is the
Artist herself.
And her name again is?
Virginia Flack, and she's
Virginia.
in Austin, Texas, and that's her sort of fine art exhibit work.
And our next model?
This is Beth Rosenthal, and she's wearing a sun tea dress. And this is another work by Crispina French.
And these are T-shirts.
These are T-shirts. They're old T-shirts. Everybody has old T-shirts, and they are cut up and used as a pattern and put together by hand sewing. So you don't even need to use a sewing machine.
It's very soft because I touched it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They're really comfortable. We have a couple of them in the book, but you could really use any sewing pattern. It's the technique of taking old T-shirts and making them into fabric.
Again, you can learn more about what you need to do. If you buy the book, Craft Activism, you can get it anywhere, right, at this point?
all the major bookstores and online.
Excellent. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Lots of
thanks.
great ideas here.
It was fun talking to you.